Hello, and welcome back to Fluent English 10. Today's story is short, funny, and very useful. You will learn two important words and how one small mistake can become a big memory. Let us begin. Today we are going to visit my aunt. She invited us for lunch at her house. She said the whole family will be there. My parents are happy. They love family time. I like seeing my cousins, but I also feel nervous. At my aunt's house, almost everyone speaks English. Her children grew up using English. They speak fast and with a good accent. They understand when I speak, but I do not feel like I can speak like them. Sometimes I get quiet. Sometimes I smile, but do not say much. Not because I do not want to talk. I just do not feel confident. This time, I want to do better. I want to speak more. So, before we leave, I tell myself, today is a good day to practice. Today I will speak, no fear. In the car, I think about what I can say. I repeat simple questions in my head. How are you? What do you do now? I also try to remember new words I learned. I do not want to be perfect. I just want to connect. When we arrive, my aunt opens the door and smiles. She says hello to everyone. Her voice is warm and kind. We walk inside. My cousins are in the living room. They wave and say hello in English. I feel nervous again, but I smile and answer, "Hi, good to see you." One of them says, "You too." I feel good. I used English. We sit down and begin to talk. I listen carefully to each word. I try to understand the jokes. I try to follow the conversation. Sometimes I get lost, but I keep listening. Then I see one of my cousins sit on the sofa slowly. She says hello to me with a big smile. I say hello back. She looks happy. She puts her hands on her belly. She moves with care. I notice her stomach is bigger than before. Then my aunt walks over and puts her hand on my cousin's back. They smile and laugh together. They are not saying many words, but something is clear. They both look at the belly. They both look proud. I look again at my cousin. She touches her belly and smiles softly. Then I understand. She will have a baby. I do not know how to say the right word. I forget the word. But I want to say something nice. I want to be part of this happy moment. So, I take a breath, walk to her, and smile. I say, "Wow, are you, embarrassed?" She looks at me. Her smile disappears for a second. She looks confused. "Wait, what?" she says. Everyone in the room becomes quiet. No one says anything. I look around. I do not understand what happened. Why did she stop smiling? Why does everyone look confused? I feel a little cold. My face feels hot. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe it was not the right word. I try to smile again, but I feel unsure. I think to myself, what did I say? I wanted to say something nice. But now I feel very confused. The room is quiet. Everyone looks at me. My cousin looks confused. She is still touching her belly. but now her smile is gone. I feel a little panic in my chest. Something is wrong, but I do not understand why. I think quickly. What did I say? I wanted to say something kind, something happy. But now I feel like I made a mistake. I try to fix it. I smile again and say, because, the baby, you are embarrassed, right? She raises her eyebrows. Someone behind me makes a small sound, like they are trying not to laugh. Then another cousin says, "Do you mean pregnant?" I look at her. "What?" I ask. She repeats slowly, "Pregnant." Not embarrassed. Pregnant means she is going to have a baby. I feel the heat in my face again. Now I understand. I used the wrong word. Embarrassed does not mean someone is going to have a baby. It means someone feels bad or shy because of something. I think again about what I said. Are you embarrassed? Oh no, that sounds terrible now. I look at my cousin and say, "Sorry, I wanted to say, you will have a baby." She smiles again and says, "It is okay. That was very funny." Then she laughs. I laugh too, a little nervous. But I want to say more. I want to ask her about the baby. So I try again. I say, when will it come out?" She looks at me. She starts to laugh again. Another cousin covers his face and says, "Oh, wow. I know I said something strange. I feel it in the way they react." I ask, "Is that not how you say it?" My cousin says, "You can say, 'When is the baby due?' Or 'When will the baby be born?'" I repeat slowly, "When is the baby due?" She nods. "Yes, that sounds much better." We all laugh. I laugh too because I feel safe now. They are not laughing at me. They are laughing with me. One of my cousins says, "You are trying. That is what matters." Another says, "I remember when I said something wrong like that. It happens to everyone." I feel better. I feel part of the group again. I say, "Thank you for helping me. Now I will remember the right words." My cousin says, "Next time you will say pregnant and due." Easy. I smile and say, "Yes, pregnant, due, not embarrassed." They all nod and laugh again. And just like that, I learned something very important. With real people, in a real moment. On the way home, I sit in the back of the car and think about everything. My parents talk about the food and the people. They laugh and tell stories. I stay quiet. I am not sad. I am just thinking. I think about my cousin, about the word pregnant, and about how I felt when I said embarrassed. It was a simple mistake, just one word. But it changed the meaning of what I wanted to say. It made people laugh. It made the room go quiet. And then it helped me learn something important. I say to myself, that word, I will never forget it now. Books can teach me words. Videos can help me hear how people speak. But this moment, this real situation, helped me learn more. I remember how nervous I was at first. I remember my voice when I said, "Are you embarrassed?" I remember my cousin's face. I remember the silence. And then I remember the laughter, the kindness, the help. This was not just a mistake. It was a real English lesson, and I did it by speaking. The next day, I go to my English class. The teacher asks, "Did anyone use English this weekend?" I raise my hand and say, "Yes, I tried to speak English with my cousins." The teacher smiles. "Great. How did it go?" I say, "I made some mistakes, but I learned new words." She says, "That is the best way to learn." Then I tell the class about the mistake. I tell them how I said embarrassed instead of pregnant. Everyone laughs, just like my cousins. The teacher says, "Thank you for sharing that. That is a very common mistake." She writes the words on the board: pregnant, going to have a baby, embarrassed, feeling shy or uncomfortable because of a mistake or situation. She adds, "In many languages, these words look similar, but in English, they are very different." She continues, "Let us look at more useful words for situations like this." Then she writes more. Due date, the day the baby is expected to be born. Baby bump, when a woman's belly grows during pregnancy. To give birth, to have a baby. Newborn, a baby that is just born. Twins, two babies born at the same time. Cravings, when a pregnant woman really wants to eat something special. Ultrasound, a test to see the baby inside the belly. Morning sickness, when a pregnant woman feels sick, usually in the morning. The teacher reads the words one by one and explains each meaning. We practice saying them together. We repeat them aloud, slowly and clearly. Then she gives simple example sentences. My sister is pregnant. Her baby is due in August. She had morning sickness in the first months. The doctor did an ultrasound last week. She has strong cravings for chocolate and ice cream. She also gives us a small challenge. She says, try to make your own sentence with one of these words. One student says, my aunt gave birth last month. Another says, my friend is having twins. I say, I learned the word pregnant the hard way. The class laughs again. The teacher nods. That is the best way to remember. At the end of class, she says, mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are teachers. Speak, make errors, and learn from them. I write that in my notebook. Mistakes are teachers. And I smile, because now I believe it too. Stories like this one help you learn English in a real and natural way. You learn new words in context, not just from a list. You see how people speak, how mistakes happen, and how to fix them. You remember the meaning because you feel the moment. You hear the emotion, the confusion, the laughter. And next time you speak, you will think, I remember this from the story. I know what to say now. That is why stories are powerful. They help you connect English to real life. Thank you for listening to Fluent English 10. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. You can also watch more episodes like this on my channel. See you next time, and remember, one story, one lesson at a time.